Finally, a brew day. Looks a bit different, I guess. So it's been a while. This is video 101, so we're going to do Brewing 101, and it is brew in a bag. Brew in a bag is just a way of doing an all grain brew day without having to use a 3 vessel system, or without having to buy an expensive all-in-one system. The brew in a bag systems you can buy are usually a little bit cheaper. They are more basic. Normally you get like a plastic bucket with a heating element in it, and a bag basically. So we'll just have a look at some of the options that are available to you. So as you can see, if you type in BIAB, brew in a bag, into Get Er Brewed, you come up with a number of different options. You can see the basic kit with a free ingredient pack, the all grain starter kit, which includes a mash kit, which is an ingredient pack. The difference in price there is because this one also comes with a fermentation bucket, and let's just click into it. So you go wort chiller, spoon, fermentation bucket, airlock, bottling system, thermometer, hydrometer. If you don't have one of them, that's quite handy. So we go back. Starter kit, 166 quid. Comes with all the bells and whistles, bottle capper, bottle caps, etc. Digital, you've got up in price here, but if you come to the bottom of this page, you'll see, although it's out of stock at the moment, a Pico boiler, which is the main bit. You also get like a sparging bag and different bits and pieces, so you can build your own kit should you want to go down that route. Back about 10 years ago when I first started out, this is the one I bought here. All grain starter kit, includes mash kit, 154 quid. It wasn't that when I bought it. When I bought it, you could choose which ingredient kit you got, but now it appears that it's a fixed one, hop on APA, which I don't know what it's like, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. Not really much more I can say about that at this point. If you go to the Malt Miller, the other big homebrew store online for the UK, they have a different approach. They have a number of different bags, a number of different kettles. Their starter kits are these stainless steel boilers. So you've got a choice of 25, 35 or 50. They just basically are a boiler, a temperature controller, and a brew in a bag, grain bag, sparge bag, whatever you want to call it. So you have to buy your fermentation bucket, a method of chilling, etc. So you all have to buy that separately, so that sort of adds up a little bit. One of the issues I had when I had my brew in a bag starter kit was the Pico boiler wasn't very, what's the word I'm looking for? It malfunctioned after about a handful of brews. Now, I'm relatively confident that that was a problem with the operator, i.e. me, rather than the equipment itself, but it's just something to be aware of. The electrics going in do get very hot. You can see here on the Malt Miller's version that looks very heavy duty, which probably negates the problem I had. If I can show you, if you see that bit there, it's just basically a kettle plug-in. That bit actually melted and forged the power cable into it. It wasn't safe, and I ended up getting rid of it. Another thing you can do is get one of these Buffalo boilers. I got mine from Nisbets a lot of years ago, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube about how to modify this for home brewing purposes. You change the tap, you footer about with the electrics to cut out the thermostat, which allows you to have a rolling boil on this. It is more heavy duty than the Pico boiler in my experience, and mine actually still runs to this day, so I think I got about a year out of the Pico, so this has been running for 9 years, and I do use it occasionally for different things, albeit not for boiling, but yeah. So my pack came from your friends of mine, Get Er Brewed, and it's the Massey Red Ale. Obviously, if you're a long time watcher of the channel, you'll know that red ale is one of my favourites, particularly Irish Reds. So it comes with like in-depth, what do you call it, instructions. They're slightly different to what they were, or slightly different style to what they were when I done this last time, and they're very careful to say that every brewing system is different and you should use brewing software online to get the exact information that you need. So with that in mind, they now give you the actual ingredients for their packs. I don't know if that's for all of them or just this particular one. So I plugged all those numbers into a brew father and came up with a brewing schedule. So we have in the box, you get a bag, so that's obviously your different hops and your yeast, USO5, Cascade and Centennial, and it actually separates them out so you don't even have to weigh it or anything. So it's all pretty much idiot proof. And then you get your bag of grains. This is about 4.5 kilos, I think. No, 5.5 kilos in total. Look how strong I am. So this is all pre-mixed, so it's just a matter of mashing it in. So I am using the Brewzilla system that I always use, but I'm doing a brew in a bag, which you can't quite see because it's too high, but take my word for it, that's what I'm doing. One of the things I would suggest is if you can get some wee butterfly clamps to hold your brew in a bag in place. I don't have all my stuff here yet, so I don't have them, but it does come with a drawstring, so hopefully that will be enough to hold it in place. So when you order a recipe pack from the likes of Get Er Brewed, it usually comes, I think you get a choice, but it usually comes quite well crushed, so you don't have to worry about that. God, how annoying these bags are. If this is the sort of video you like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. If you hit the bell, you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. So I like to do it, particularly with a lesser one like this, in 2 batches. So quick bit in, then give it a good stir up, and then another good bit in. As I said before, I don't have all my stuff together, so I'm using the whisk. See, and then that's what happens. The bag falls in. So not ideal, that means I do have now grains in the kettle, which I didn't want. This is a disaster. Welcome back to Brewing, Jabber. So you just got to be careful not to do what I've just done. But I have a plan of how I'm going to fix that anyway. At this point, you have no idea how close I came to just kicking the bucket over and calling it a day. Right, so that has now happened. Oh. So I managed to rescue it. So the key is really just to keep stirring, making sure that you've got basically a wet porridge kind of consistency with your grains. So that's the end of our 60-minute mash. So what we do now is put in the mash bag. There's a couple of schools of thought here. Do you squeeze the mash bag? Do you not squeeze the mash bag? When I first started out all those years ago, the general consensus was you don't, because you'll get tannins in your final wort, which ultimately is your beer. So what I'm going to do, what a horrible noise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grain type that comes with the Brewzilla. I'm going to put the false bottom into that, and I'm going to put the grain bag into that so it drains from the grain bag through here and into the wort, so we get the maximised amount of wort. Obviously, if you're building your own kettle, whatever, you don't have this, so you just got to work out your own way of doing it. Some people put like a drying rack over the top of it. People have pulley systems, things like that. So this was, what I say, 5.5 kilos dry. Good chance it's probably about 10 kilos now. So it might be a bit of a challenge, but sure. Yeah, it's heavy. A little bit unorthodox, but we're in the golden. Well, we're waiting on the kettle reaching a boil temperature, taking a sample with my hydrometer. So it's 10:36. Then there is a website called Brewer's Brand, which has all sorts of calculators, and you can put in the values and the temperature, and then it will adjust it to make sure that it's the right value. So my pre-boil gravity is 1046, and I was looking for 1045, so we're in the sweet spot there. So that's a 60% efficiency, which is roughly what I get normally anyway. Ooh. Hot break footage. So we just had hot break. We're now on a boil, so it's a 60-minute boil. First addition is 40 grams of Aurora, and Get Er Brewed give you in nice little tea bags. So just drop them in. I'm not really sure how I feel about them. I always find they fill up with air whenever you drop them into the boil, which would suggest to me that they're not as permeable as they should be. Don't know. Anyway, 60. So we've reached the end of the boil, and our 0-minute addition is 20 grams of Cascade and 20 grams of Centennial. You can see there, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I've put it in the chiller. It's an immersion chiller, brings the beer and the wort down to the right temperature. I put that in with a 10-minute addition to help sterilize it when it's at the boil. Also at that, excuse me, at that time we put a protofloc tablet in. One of the things it mentions on the instructions, which it never did 10 years ago, and something that actually confused me in the early days of my brewing. Boil additions and times. The boil will be for 60 minutes, and your boiling time will only begin once your wort is at a rolling boil. The addition times start from when the boil begins, so it states a 60-minute addition. Add that at the start of the 60-minute boil. If it states a 10-minute addition, then you add that 10 minutes before the end. It's backwards. You just got to get used to it. There's nothing really more to say about that. So we're in the final stages of cooling now. I've just taken a reading, 1046, plug that into the computer, just for the temperature. It gives me 1050, which is bullseye, right on the mark that was meant to be. So efficiency is confirmed at 60%, which is what I normally get when I do the full system, so that's quite good. That was a no sparge version of Brew in a Bag. All it means is shut down completely to pitching temperature. I'm going to use this. It's a Kegland all-rounder. I'm not going to use the pressure fermenting thingy-mabobbers. Jesus. I'm not going to use the pressure fermenter thing with it. I'm just going to use it as if it is a normal brew bucket. So at this point you can transfer your wort into your brewing or your fermenting vessel, whether it be an all-rounder like I'm using, whether it be a bucket, whether it be, I don't know, a fish tank, a 20-litre tube, anything like that. As long as it's down to temperature, you can put your yeast, which in this case is USO5. USO5 is an American ale yeast producing well-balanced beers with very clear, crisp end palate. Your final gravity, low to medium, whatever. Your temperature range, ideally 18 to 26. For most people in Western Europe, Northern Hemisphere, whatever, that is just generally room temperature. You can probably ferment at room temperature, but one of the biggest step forwards you're going to make in your brewing adventure is if you devise temperature control. There's lots of different ways you can do that. The way I do, I have a greenhouse heater, an electric greenhouse heater. It's also known as a heat lamp. There's no light comes off it, so I don't know. Maybe it's inside, I don't know. And I've repurposed an old chest freezer, small chest freezer that I one time used as a keezer. I have an Inkbird temperature probe, so when it drops below a certain temperature, the heating comes on. It gets too hot, the chilling comes on, and it just keeps it within 1 or 2 degrees. The closer you can keep it, within like a degree or two, even within half a degree. If you have like a fancy glycol chiller heater system thing going on, if you can keep it within half a degree, then you're going to get the best quality beer. Other things you can do, you can get like a heating belt. You strap around it, and you can get a heating pad and put the fermenting bucket on top, and all these sort of basically do the same thing. So there we have it, the Massey Red, a lovely copper colour. Just apologise, I think you're going to get quite bad echoes in here. We haven't fully furnished it yet, but we'll try and edit that out in post or something, I don't know. But yeah, so lovely copper colour, I'm really happy with that. It is as clear as you like, which tells it how dark it is. Well, maybe you can't see it. Put my eye up to it. So yeah, take my word for it, it's very clear. Beautiful example of the style. I can see bubbles streaming up there rightly, and we have a nice sort of white head. Like a pillow up there, it's not too big, all the bubbles are nice and tight. But you can see the head has dissipated quite a bit already. On the nose then we're getting a nice sweetness to it. Not too much on the hops as you would expect, given what was in it. There is like a piney kind of inviting you in. So it's inviting me, I might as well go in. Yeah, so it's a thin-bodied beer. Decent level of carbonation there, but it's thin-bodied. It's quite, what's the word I'm looking for? It's quite a quick beer in that it doesn't linger in your mouth. There's not a huge tail. There's not, you know, it's quite sweet when you first take it. Then you get like some rich biscuity goodness. You get some nice biscuit flavours, and then that sort of sweetness kind of tucks you back in again. And then, bizarrely for such a sweet beer, it does kind of dry out towards the end. Yeah, perfectly drinkable beer. And as you see, brew in your bag, brew in a bag, perfectly drinkable beer. Um, a recipe pack from Get Er Brewed. A full circle for me. This is probably the first all grain beer I did all those years ago, and now we're back on it. In terms of then, the beer, as I've said, absolutely fantastically drinkable beer. For my own palate, for my own preferences, for want of a better word, I wouldn't necessarily say I can make a better Irish red, but if I had to say, Jacko, what is your specialty? My answer would be Irish red, and the Irish red that I make for my own tastes hits the mark better than this. And that's just, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I've brewed Irish red hundreds of times now, and I've just tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it until it's a recipe that I actually find drinkable for myself. So obviously, like, that recipe that I designed is like pinpoint accuracy for what I like. Whereas this Nazi Red was a recipe that was designed for a commercial beer. It was commercially available for a long time. I don't think that brewery still exists anymore, so I don't know if it's still available. So, it had to be more middle of the line, these are the parameters, and we'll go in the middle of the parameters and try and just sort of make a very commercially successful beer. This video, it started out like it was going to be a Brewing 101. It was meant to be like a tutorial kind of video. It's not something that I really do an awful lot of. I think it started off that way. Then when I came to do a evaluating of the beer before it finished, when I took a sample of it, I got a really bad taste of it. It was really chlorine-ish, chlorinated. Chlorinated? I don't know. It was really bad off taste anyway, and I thought, you know what, let's not continue with this. I actually was of a mind to throw the beer down the drain at that point, and I nearly did, and then we just short on time that day, and physically didn't have time to pour beer down the drain. So I left it, and I came back to it, and it had finished out, and I put it through the tap just to see, and I poured it, and I took a wee sample off it, and that sort of sweetness, that chlorinated flavour had disappeared completely, and it was replaced with this really sickly sweet flavour. So I gave a little bit of it to my partner, and she was like, "Oh, I really like that. It's a nice sweet beer. Doesn't normally like dark beer like this." So she couldn't have a couple of pints, but she would certainly enjoy one. So I thought, you know what, I'll carbonate it up, because it was as flat as, I don't know, as flat as surfboards or something, I don't know. But, it wasn't carbonated at all. So, yeah, so carbonated it up, drank it actually on this video a while, maybe a week or two back, and it was quite cloudy. It was really tasty. So left it for another week, and I thought, I'll revisit the video, poured myself another pint, and it's cleared up perfectly. I'm really, really happy with it. So honestly, I haven't done a video in a while. The more eagle eyed of you may have noticed that the Brew Day footage is in a different place. Clearly, I am not in the office, the old office anymore. So the rumours are true. I mean, there was no rumours. I've moved to a new location. I'm between both locations, so some of my brewing kit is still down in the old place, some of it's here, which is one of the reasons why I'm brewing back, is if we get everything done for God's sake, break it back, see how everything works here, with different water supply, just everything's different, nothing's just within hand's reach. So yeah, so I broke it back, got it done. What I've realised over the last sort of 18 months is brewing is very much a winter hobby for me. Now we're in October now, this would be in September, but in October now, that's a hint. And then I'm going to do a beer, I think, I'm going to do a beer from my childhood, something that reminds me. Anyway, I'm really out of beer and I want to watch the end of Brew it, so I'm also going to put a video out. I've refurbished a barrel, I've done a few videos of that. The keys are here, I'm going to rebuild the keezer. I'm not entirely happy with the way it's built, so I'm going to rebuild that. But I've built myself a gas manifold, which hangs on the wall, which I'm pretty impressed with. I'm going to refine that, make that slightly better. I'm going to finish it out this place, then I'll give you a tour. I think I have footage of coming into here and it was great plaster. I might put that out as a video, that might be quite fun for somebody. This bit of video is already 7 minutes long. The whole video is only meant to be 15 minutes, so yeah, cheers guys.